My next guest is a 15-year-old April. April, tell us what happened.
Me and her got into a fist fight or whatever.
You stopped going to school as a result of this video?
Yes.
The girl that you fought, she posted this on YouTube and Facebook.
April tell lies.
The video line about the fight that the two of you had, she's here today because she's afraid to go to school.
I don't care. I fight boys too.
Ooh. Whoever's back there, shut your mouth until I'm ready for you.
If she can't handle it by talking to him, fight.
What's scary is we have a mother who teaches her daughter to solve problems with violence. And what an example you set for all these young teenage girls out there, Mom. Violence is the way to solve problems. That's just great. I was told April went back to the green room, was very upset, and wanted to speak to Letitia. And Letitia has agreed to come back out. So at this time, I'd like to bring both girls back out. What did you're back out here. What do you want to say?
I just want to say, like, you want me to talk to her or?
Your problem's not with me.
I mean, I want to know, like, I understand you said why we were, like, you know, why we weren't friends no more. But I feel like all that shouldn't have been lost over a friendship. I feel like you shouldn't even went to the point to fighting me because, truthfully, y'all were the ones starting with me on the bus and all that. And I tried to avoid y'all. I tried to apologize to y'all for whatever I did, and y'all didn't accept my apology. So I feel like I was just like really like disrespected on so many levels. And it's like, if you don't want to accept my apology, oh well, at least I tried. I know I'm the bigger person for us trying to do that.
Do you have anything you want to say to April?
Well, I had left it alone. Beef being squashed after we fought. So.
Can both you girls just stand up for 1 second? Okay, now let's try this again. You wanted to say something to her? I think at least the courtesy, if she's going to try to apologize, which she said that's what she wants to do, is that you at least look each other into the eye, okay?
The only thing I'm saying is, whatever I did to you to offend you or anything to make you not want to be my friend no more, yeah, I am sorry for it because I don't know what I did. And that day, I was trying to tell you, but it was like everybody on the porch, and I don't like putting my business out there. And you were asking me, and I was just like, nothing. But, I mean, you can accept my apology. You don't have to if you don't want to. But that's like, I just really had to tell you that, like that. Whatever I did, I'm sorry for it, whatever.
Do you have anything you want to say to April?
I said the beef had been squashed. And I had left her alone.
So, are you able to move past this? Are you able to, I don't even know, could you even be friends or friendly to each other?
I've been past it, and I just won't say nothing to her. She won't say nothing to me. And the whole school thing, I don't know why she won't been come to school, because I had been left it alone.
Will you agree to take the video off your MySpace, your Facebook page?
Yeah, but I can't take it off other people's pages.
We're not worried about other people's, we're asking you.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what? If you can't be friends and you're saying you can't be friendly, and I can't make you be friends with her, but if you're saying that'll be the end of it, I guess at least we made some progress, right? But honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I think if you could be a little more forgiving, worry less about all the little slights in life, because they're going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about them. And I would just think, for your own sake, got to let a lot of things slide. Because if you pick a battle over every small thing, you're going to spend your whole life fighting, and it's just not worth it. All right, with this last story, how many of you have social networking sites like MySpace or Facebook? Just everybody in the room has that. And how much time, who spends more than an hour, 2 hours a day on it? Anybody spend more than 5 hours a day on it? All right, keep your hand up. Why are you on there more than 5 hours a day? Waste time? Good, come here, young lady. Come by the microphone. Why? Now, why? What's your name?
Soraya.
Soraya. And Soraya, you're a beautiful young girl. Why would you be on Facebook or MySpace more than 5 hours a day?
Because nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do? How about going out, be with your friends at the mall, or go for a walk, or study, read a book, do something? Wouldn't you like a real-life boyfriend or girlfriend?
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to meet them on the computer. And if you do, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Who are you meeting on the computer? How many girls out here have met boys online, on the internet? Every minute that goes by doing a show, it gets scarier and scarier. And how many girls out here have had a bad experience from meeting a boy on there? And what was your bad experience?
Well, it was because, when I was like 11.
How old are you now?
14.
14. Okay.
Okay, so when I was 11, I got my first computer. It was in my room and everything. So I would be on it every now and again, go in chat rooms and stuff, because that was cool.
When you're 11?
Actually, I was like 9. But anyways, I met this
By the
kid.
way, even though you're not my daughter, you're grounded. Continue.
Okay, but anyways, I met this kid in Ohio, from Ohio, when I live in Illinois. And we talked on the phone and just talked and talked more and more. And I called him my boyfriend. And come to find out, he's like 40-something.
See, let me tell you something. I swear to God, I was going to say it probably was some guy in his 40s.
Yeah, but like when I was that age, I didn't like know. I was like, oh, he sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
That's why you need to go home with your friends and not get on the internet. Talk to each other. Meet real boys you know in school or from the neighborhood.
But now I hardly ever go on. Like, it's
Very
not
good.
something I do.
Thank you for coming up and sharing. We all know the story. I'm pretty much, everybody's heard the story about Rihanna, right? Yeah. She's dating this Chris Brown, and in a survey, teenagers were asked, was Rihanna responsible for the alleged attack that landed her in the hospital? And I want to ask you, how many of you young girls think that it was her fault? And you you're standing up back there that just stood up, I want you to explain, can you explain to me why it was her fault? I want to know why it was her fault. You were very, very supportive of Chris Brown there by standing up, so I want to hear it.
I think it was Rihanna's fault because she cheated before, so.
I want to know how you have this knowledge.
Heard it.
You heard it. Where did you hear it from?
People.
People. And who are these people? Are they friends of Rihanna's?
No.
Are they friends of Chris Brown's?
No.
Okay, so that's rumor mill. I'm seriously, if you're dating a boy and you're a teenager, right? Mm-hmm. And you happen to kiss another boy, can that boy then, your original boyfriend, can he slap you around?
No. I will go off. I'm sorry.
What's that?
I will go off. I'm sorry.
Well, my thing is, if that's the point where you're in a situation where you don't like somebody's behavior, why wouldn't it say, well, you know what, I'm not going to date you anymore? Why would you resort to violence? And it's shocking. I am telling you, I'm shocked that anybody would raise their hand saying this is acceptable behavior, that men are allowed to hit women. And it cuts both ways. Women aren't allowed to hit men. Nobody should be hitting anybody. If you don't like the person you're with and you don't like their behavior, don't let them have you and don't let them be with you. Meredith, you're 17 years old. You called the show. Why are you here today?
Well, like you said, I'm only 17, and I've been doing heroin for about 3.5 years now, and I really want to stop, and I want a different life, and I didn't know what else to do. And I saw your show, and I decided to call.
How did you start taking heroin?
I don't know how it started. One of my friends had some, and I did some. I started off snorting it, but about 1.5 years ago, I started shooting.
Okay, I don't want to cut you off on your story, how you started, but you got to step back and you got to explain to me at 13 how you start snorting heroin.
Well, I had already started doing drugs by the age of 11. I was doing other drugs, and I was doing cocaine, marijuana, ecstasy.
At 11
anything.
years old?
Yes.
And did your parents notice any change in your behavior?
Well, at the time, I was really depressed and stuff, and so they didn't know.
You were 11 years old? What were you? I'm not trying to. What were you depressed at 11 years old?
I don't know. I had a lot of problems. I had ADD at school, and I mean, it was just hard for me to focus. I was real self-conscious about myself. Always hung out with older people and stuff, and like, I just, you know, she thought that it was, I don't know, Steve. She just thought I was depressed. I mean.
And she didn't notice any kind of.
Well, she did later on, but not at the beginning when I was 11. Now, about 12
So at
or
11,
13,
you're smoking marijuana. You were doing what else?
ice and cocaine.
You were doing cocaine at 11 years old.
Yes.
When you did cocaine when you were 11 years old, what was the reaction? What were you feeling when you were doing cocaine at 11?
Just a rush. I mean, I felt a rush, but then, you know, I felt kind of bad for doing it. But
Who's giving you cocaine at 11 years old?
Just different people, just around. Like I said, I always hung out with older people, or I was always around older people.
So there was older people around who thought giving cocaine to an 11-year-old girl was some way, somehow.
People like that don't care. They just want your money.
And you started doing these drugs because you were self-conscious, you felt depressed.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure it is that, but I don't really like see it that way, like to cover up my feelings. I just think like I was really curious. I don't know. I was really curious, and it made me feel, you know, of course, made me feel good. So I was more calm and relaxed.
So you're at 11, you're doing these drugs, and at 13 you started using heroin. Why would you start? You started snorting. Mm-hmm. And then at some point you started putting a needle into your arms.
Yeah, snorting it after doing it for, you know, a couple of years, because I've been shooting up just for like 1.5 years of it now, and snorting it stopped messing me up, like, because I got to the point
you had no
where
effect from it
sick.
anymore.
Yes. Like I would get sick without it in my system. If I didn't do it, I would be very sick, like vomit and stuff. And so then I tried shooting it up. And before that, my biggest fear was needles. So that kind of gives you an idea of like how like bad I am, you know, on it, and how bad I really do want to get help, because I mean, I overcame my biggest fear just to get high. You know,
so when you're saying
sick.
when you weren't doing heroin, you felt terrible.
Yes, I would throw up, you know, I get sweaty but cold and shake and just all those, you know, those nasty things. And then shooting just the heroin stopped working, and now I mix it with cocaine too. In order for me to get high and not just well, I have to mix it with cocaine too. So I'm at the point to where now, like people say that if you do drugs, you either end up in prison or dead, and I feel like I'm gonna die. And I really need help, and I wanna stop now. I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed. I want a better life.
I see you have trap marks all over your arms, all over your hands. Maybe you could stand up and show the audience. I mean, and this is a girl that doesn't like needles. I don't like needles. I don't know if I could ever shoot myself.
I never dreamed of it. I'd go to the doctor and pass out when they're trying to give me a shot or take my blood. But then drugs do crazy things to you. I mean,
And you've
I
shot
can't
so
even
much.
explain it myself.
You've shot so much in your arms and your hands that you now, where do you shoot the drugs?
Well, pretty much everything in my arms don't work anymore. And so if I can't get it in my arm, then I'll have to go down here now, on my thighs, on my hips, on my feet, wherever I can. I've tried my neck, wherever anything comes up. It's sick. It's disgusting, I know.
How often do you shoot yourself up?
Every day, depending on how much I have, probably around like 6-7 times a day,
6-7 times a day you're shooting yourself with heroin.
depending on how much I have.
Do you go to school?
No.
So you don't go to school.
No,
You're just done.
Mm-hmm.
How do you support your drug habit if you're shooting heroin every day, 6-7 times a day?
I either steal for like acquaintances, not really friends, but just people from around. If say they want some kind of drug, like whether it's marijuana or pills or something, okay, I'll get you that, and then I go and get what I need, and just never come back or get them what they want, Or I'll go to the store and I'll steal something from, and then I'll return it without a receipt, get a gift card. People take gift cards now. I'll go and I'll help one of my, my hookups and his girlfriend clean up around the house or something, and they'll, give me some for that.
I'm just curious because I was shown pictures of you backstage, and there's one picture in there particular that you remind me of one of my daughter's friends at the age now, and that's the picture. And I look at that picture and I think I was just playing with my daughter and her friend yesterday and thinking, wow, these little girls grow up. Some little girls grow up and they become cheerleaders or whatever dreams that they have. And some little girls, like that little girl, grew up to be a heroin addict. And that terrifies me. That scares the hell out of me. What's the worst part of it?
The hurt you put your loved ones through, like your family, and the hurt to yourself.
Your parents must be living in hell with you doing this.
Yeah, my mom always has nightmares about me, and she's always scared she's gonna walk in and find me dead. And she throws up because she's like literally that sick to her stomach thinking about it. So that's like the main thing, I want to get help and stuff, but that's the main thing. It's my mom. Everybody's rock bottom is different, and I guess mine's now, and now I'm starting to care. So
Is
now
there
I'm
anything that happened in particular where you said, hey, okay, this is rock bottom?
Kind of. A few weeks ago, I was sitting at my drug dealer's house, and I did some cocaine and heroin mixed together, and I started seizuring, like, immediately after I did it, of course, and, like, I jumped up, and, he jumped up, and, like, he had to hold me, like, we were standing up, and I was like this, and he had to, like, wrap his arms around me to keep me from convulsing, and then not even 2-3 days later, I had another one, but this one wasn't as bad as the first one, but still, I mean, it doesn't matter how bad it was. It scared me enough to be like, okay, I really am gonna die now.
Everybody probably can relate to this point. This is the thing about drugs that really makes me say, how crazy is this? Mm-hmm. If I go to the doctor, here's this man that went to school for years and years and years, and his reputation's on the line every time he sticks a needle in me. Here, we have a 17-year-old girl, and you're taking a needle and you're mixing, you don't know, God knows, cocaine and heroin, and just shooting it up, and you don't know what this can do to you. You don't know where it came from. You don't know who's mixing it in what god-awful basement or garage or somebody's crack house or whatever, and you're putting this stuff in your body.
It's crazy, I know.
Do you ever think about that? Like,
yes,
what do I know
about
about putting this? It's like just opening a jar of rat poison and drinking it down.
Yeah,
Aren't
I
you
know.
taking the same chances?
It's like putting rat poison in your veins, yes, and I know. That's what I'm saying.
When was the last time you shot up?
Before I got on the plane to come here, so I wasn't going to be sick on the plane.
You shot up not even 12 hours ago.
Yes.
And how are you feeling now?
I'm already starting to feel sick, like the dope's coming out of my body, so.
And if you weren't on this show tonight, how long before you'd use again?
Well, right when I got home, as soon as I could get it, immediately, like right whenever I could get it.
And if you don't have it every day?
I throw up. You can't keep from going to the bathroom on yourself because you don't know when you're going. You can't hold it in. You throw up, you can't breathe, you sweat, you shake like this really bad. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of nasty stuff. I mean, some people have seizures when they don't have it. It just depends.
Have you ever gotten treatment for this?
I went to detox twice, and I went to rehab once. You know, that didn't help. Obviously, I was there for 2 weeks.
When you go, like say we can get you cleaned up, say we can change your life and turn your life around, what are you going to do with your life? What do you dream of being?
I just dream of being better. I mean, for like a career, I want to be in cosmetology or photography, but right now all I'm thinking of is getting myself better and how to stay clean and stuff, and I'm going to try to learn how to do that, and that's all I want to focus on right now is myself.
And because of all these drugs you've been taking, you're addicted to heroin, what have you missed out on?
Everything. I don't know what it's like to go out to like the movies, say, or bowling without getting high. I mean, I haven't been to those kind of places in years. Ever since I was 11, all I've known is to go out and get high. That's my idea of fun. I don't even really have any friends right now, really. Like, it's just me and my dope. So I missed out on basically everything, life.
You missed out on your whole childhood.
Yeah.
And because of the drug use, how has this changed your relationship with your parents?
My mom is really scared, you know, obviously, and my dad too, and she's changed a lot. And I love her. She's like my best friend, so I mean, I have to get better. I have to.
Today we're doing something we've never done before. The audience is filled with teenage girls. And I think you, probably more than a lot of people, more than most young teenage girls, you're living through something that we're trying to avoid with every teen girl in the audience that's watching the show today. I think one of the best things that you could do is look out to all these young teen girls in the audience, all the teen girls that are watching at home, and tell them what to say if somebody offers them drugs. And look at them and tell them.
You don't even want to be anywhere where you would even think that someone would hand you drugs or offer you drugs. And if that ever does happen, which I'm sure it will happen no matter where you're at, don't do it. I don't care if you're curious, if you're upset about something, if you want to be cool, whatever. I don't know why you would do it, but don't do it. It's not worth it. You think, oh yeah, it feels good now, but it's not going to feel good later. People do crazy things, things you would never even imagine. You hurt people you love and care about. You hurt yourself. You could kill yourself very easily. There's just so many bad things. Nothing good comes out of using. Nothing good. Only bad. So all I can tell you is just please be strong and don't do it, please. It's not worth it.
So right now we're going to take questions from the girls in the audience, and maybe you can answer them.
Okay.
My name's Kristen, and last week, Monday and Tuesday, I just went to my best friend's wake and funeral. She overdosed on heroin. She's only 20, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. I really am. And I hope you get the help that you want. I really hope you do.
I just would like a show of hands of how many people in the audience, if you just raise your hand, how many of you know anybody doing drugs or addicted to drugs? Oh, Jesus. I mean, that's shocking. How many of you have tried or been approached to try drugs? So at least a little bit less, but still quite a bit. Anybody besides that young lady tells a very heart-wrenching story about losing a friend to drugs. Anybody else know anybody that you knew somebody that you lost to drugs? There's about 20 people in the audience there raising their hands. 20 young lives lost. Here's a question. I hope you can be honest, because I know it's probably a difficult question for any teenager to be asked. How many of you are comfortable talking to your parents about drugs? That's about half. Can anybody explain to me why you would be scared to talk to your parents about drugs? Why you wouldn't? Could, ma'am, you raise your hand if you could come down? It's fine. Don't be scared. I mean, you might be able to save somebody's life with whatever you got to say.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and I think that we're like scared to talk to our parents because if I tell my mom, it'll break her heart like automatically, and I can't see that. I don't know. I think our relationship would be totally different.
So what I'm saying to you, if you have a close relationship with you say your mother, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't feel the need of saying, boy, I think every parent will forgive a child.
I'm just scared to talk to her about it. Like,
But I think you have to have something inside you to say, I'm not going to cross this line in my life. And the line is, I'm not going to do drugs. Say no to drugs. And it's just not this drug or that drug. I really think that if you don't want to go down a real slippery slope in life, a thing where maybe you end up like her, maybe you don't. We already know it's caused one more problem. You're hiding something from your mother. You feel that you're scared to talk to this about your mother, that you would break your mother's heart. So right there, just by doing whatever that you are doing, it's impacting your life already. Wouldn't you agree?
yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing. Meredith, your parents are here today. Let's bring them out.
It has to work, baby. You deserve a life. Okay. I know.
Please.
These are Meredith's parents, Connie and Gary. And I want to know, you hear this about your daughter telling this story about being addicted to heroin. What do you want to say to your daughter?
I can't lose her, Steve. It is a nightmare.
I want you to talk to her.
I discuss this with her a lot.
Every day.
I can't lose her, and I'm going to. And I know that if this does not work and you don't turn your life around, I'm not going to have you, and I can't go on. And you have missed your whole young life already. You're so special and unique. She has a lot of character. I mean, I know that in the situation she's in, you wouldn't think that, but she does. She's got, drugs steal your soul. They steal your spirit.
This is a picture of you with your daughter?
Yeah, they steal your soul and your spirit.
That's right.
But it's not too late for Meredith. It hasn't. You still have your soul and your spirit, baby.
Gary, as a father, when your daughter's going through that, what are you thinking?
I don't know. She knows how much we love her.
I know. We talk about this every day, you know. It's just
I'm
hard.
lost at words. I don't.
I know how you are. I know how you feel.
I guess I was in denial up until about 8-9 months ago that she would ever stick a needle in her arm. I mean, I knew that she probably smoked marijuana, but I never knew about the heroin. I never knew. I thought it was just a little bit of pot here and there. Like I say, you're in denial. I mean, you want to believe in them, you know? You want to trust them.
And especially because they know how big of a fear of needles I had. Like, nobody believed it when they heard it. Nobody did. That's how scared I was of them. But all for an addiction, you know.
All I want is my baby girl back. You need help.
Meredith, I had a guest that was on the show, and I want to bring her out because she's been through exactly what you've been through. But before I bring her out, I want you to take a look at a clip when she was on the show.
I need help for my daughter. She's 22, Steve, and she's been on the streets for a year now. She's addicted to crack cocaine. She's been selling her body on the streets.
This is where I picked up my first guy. He had pulled off to the side of the road, asked me if I needed a ride, and he had made the proposition, you know, for oral sex in exchange for cash money. So I took the proposition. In exchange for me giving the man oral sex, he gave me $40. And I continued on walking up and down the street to do that same exact thing because it was quick, easy money, and it could feed my heart. In about a day's time, I would probably talk to about 30 gentlemen in one day. I stay at this hotel probably 4 or 5 days out of the week. I walk up and down the street, I make my money, I pay my rent here, and I smoke.
I'm raising her children. She has a daughter that is a year old, and she has a son that is 2.5. I've had her daughter since she was born, and I've had her son since he was 10 months old. And they need their mother.
At the time, when I was walking and working and smoking, I never thought about my kids.
And I need my daughter back. I need your help to help me find her, get her back to the way she was. Her babies need her. I need her. I need her back. I miss her.
At some point, whenever I am buying crack and I'm getting all this money to smoke, I do think about, you know, damn, I could have just gotten, you know, my kid a pair of shoes, or, you know, I could have done this and that with the money for my children. But most of the days, I don't think about it.
I don't know what else to do. I really need your help.
I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to do the drugs anymore. I don't want to sell my body anymore. I want help. I want to see me again.
This is the deal. We're going to help you. We want to help you. But you leave the stage and you go with Kim. She's going to take you straight to a better tomorrow.
Thank you.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready to change your life around?
Yes.
Let's go. Anna left the show. She's been in rehab for 27 straight days. And she's left rehab to be here today to talk to you. Let's bring her out. Here's Anna.
If you don't stop doing what you're doing, you're gonna die.
No.
Did you see that tape of me? I sold my body. I've gotten beaten, raped. I have had a lot of horrible things happen to me. And since I've been in rehab, my life has turned around. There is hope. Don't think there's no hope for you.
I know there is. I know.
You gotta want it. Nobody in this room can help you. You've gotta do it. Okay? You've gotta do it. And you know, I have 2 beautiful children that I wasn't there for. I was more important, like myself was more important than my kids at one time. I was just worried about getting high. I didn't care whether they were being fed or anything because of that drug. It controlled my life.
It does.
But now I made the step to go to rehab, and I'm controlling my life now. And I see me. And you can do it too. I believe in you. I know your parents believe in you.
I have to.
And you just gotta want it.
I do want it. I want it.
Thank you so much for coming.
So Anna, you made it through the rehab program?
Yes, sir.
And you... And you feel it's made a difference in your life?
It's made a great difference in my life, Steve. When I came here, you saw me. I was broken. My whole life is broken. Since I've been where I'm at today in rehab, I plan on staying longer. I plan on, you know, doing another 60 days because, you know, I've made a big difference already, but not enough. You've got to feel on the inside that you're ready, and right now I know I'm not ready. And, you know, I want to be a better person. I want to go to school. I want to go to college. There's more better things for me than the life I was living. And if you girls know people that are living that type of life or beginning to, reach out to them, because all I can tell you girls is you're worth something. Don't ever let a man or any other person make you feel like you're nothing, because you are somebody. And drugs are not what you want to do. Okay, girls? Drugs are not the way to go. So just be big enough to say, I'm better than that.
Well, I want to congratulate you, Anna, on turning your life around and making it through rehab and making the decision to stay in rehab. So good for you.
Thank you.
Meredith, it's the same deal like we gave Anna. You want help? You're here today to ask for help. We want you, you have to leave the stage. You have to go straight into rehab. We have you set up at Abundant Life and Adolescent Growth. Are you ready to turn your life around? Let's go. Let's go.
So much.
Good job.
I just think my daughter will learn a lot from this. Yes. Great show. Do it more often. Do it more often.
I think it was a big reality check for the kids.
Here she is now. What'd you think
It was
of the
awesome.
show?
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. This was a great show.
I just want to say I think the show was fantastic. It's great that Steve gets the parents involved. I think that's what we need more of is getting parents involved more and more. I think it's a great experience for the kids, and we should do some more things like this.
Hi, Steve. I just want to thank you for the show. It was a very educational experience for my 14-year-old daughter and her friends. I hope that they take in heed of what the other girls had to say and don't follow in their footsteps and just go through and do good in life. Thank you.
Hey Steve, we love you. We love your show. Thanks for the great experience for my daughter who's 17. Hopefully she learned a lot and she take that to heart with and her issues.
And I just want to say thank you. It was a once in a lifetime experience. I really enjoyed the show and hope to come back soon.